7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, 0.
Women's Wrestling Talk, the #1 women's wrestling network on the planet.
It is Wednesday, and you know what that means. It's your timeless elite here, your PR princess, Stone Cold Courtney, whatever you want to call me, here with you on Wednesday's edition of Dynamite. I did come in late because I did see Hangman Adam Page talking with Renee Paquette backstage. He had an encounter with MJF, and trust me, Hangman can see MJF's true colors right before him, because soon enough, he's not going to have the Hurt Syndicate protecting him anymore. Soon it's just gonna blow right up in his face. But we have Hangman Adam Page versus Wheeler Yuta, and also talking about what happened on the Attack on Collision this past Saturday. The Death Riders attacking Hangman Adam Page, good friend Colt Cabana, and leaving him in a bloody mess. But we are in week 2 of the Chicago residency, and it's also Shark Week because they started on Sunday. So lots of things happening. We have a really good show, as I mentioned. And also, we actually did get a few stuff added in there right after WWT was over. Of course, my client, the timeless one, Toni Storm, she's going to be going up against Billy Starks with Athena in the corner. And we may see Alex Windsor because she will be facing Athena for the Ring of Honor Women's title. We're also going to have one of the newest members of the Don Callis family, Hechicero, taking on Swerve Strickland. So it's going to be interesting outside of the ring. Don Callis, Prince Nana, 2 of the best managers in AEW. That would be very interesting. And we're also, as we saw, MJF was appearing live tonight. So lots of stuff happening. I mean, I'm happy they didn't keep the secrets involved, but there's going to be a lot of surprises happening. And we are on the road to Forbidden Door. We are on Forbidden Door happening. It's just hard to believe that we're in week 2 of Chicago residency, Forbidden Door, and then we're getting ready and then they'll be ready for Philadelphia. So I'm very excited. Give me 1 second because I'm trying to make sure I'm doing all these things at once, and I'm just like, ugh. It's been a busy week. It's been a very busy week, but it's productive. Lots of good things happening. I'm very excited. Hold on, give me 1 second. I'm trying to. It's hard to believe Philadelphia is creeping up, and that is crazy. Actually, next week with SummerSlam, right around the corner. But like I said, we are kicking off with Hangman Adam Page taking on Wheeler Yuta. I actually thought this was going to be the main event. If the ladies are main event, I will not be complaining about that at all. I won't be complaining about the ladies. But it will be interesting on what's gonna. It's gonna be really interesting what's gonna end it. Because if it's not the ladies, I'm pretty sure it's probably gonna be Swerve against Hechicero, and it's gonna be interesting because we're gonna see a lot of storylines kind of colliding a little bit. Because the Young Bucks, we know they're not EVPs anymore, and somewhat they have a quote unquote alliance with the Don Callis family. 2 and 3, and your winner of this match is Hangman Adam Page, and he is continuing his role as the AEW World Heavyweight Champion. He's ready. Oh, really? We will hear from Will Ospreay. Also, a tournament will be decided who. Thank you, T. Thank you for that, Bosa, because I didn't see it on my social. So thank you for that. Oh, we're going to hear from Will Ospreay. Who's MJF feuding with? Hi, Terry M. Thank you for joining. So MJF is involved in various feuds that's kind of crossover. Right now, outside of Hangman, he's feuding with Mark Briscoe, and he's been feuding with Mystico the last couple of weeks. And hold on for a second. Hangman Adam Page took out the chain that Swerve Strickland gave him and is beating the crap out of Wheeler Yuta, and as he should, because if somebody beat up my best friend in the Bully Pulp, I would be pretty upset about that. Can't knock Hangman for that. Oh my goodness. Wheeler Yuta's bloodied and he's choking him with the chain. Doing it the same way he did with John Moxley at All in Texas. But it looks like he spared him. It looked like he's trying to get Yuta to send the message to John Moxley after what happened. So I can tell there's going to be a lot of bad blood with him and the Death Riders. Also, you're probably wondering why Gabe Kidd hasn't been around. He actually injured his ankle during the G1 tournament, so that's why he hasn't been on television as much. But we do like to wish a speedy recovery, even though he's done some bad things. So that's just a little quick FYI. Really, Yuta got busted open. Oh my god. That's crazy. Yep, later tonight we will have Mark Briscoe taking on Claudio Castagnoli. Mark Briscoe is another person that's had an issue with the Death Riders. Oh, Terry, you like the Death Riders. And plus, we are very welcoming in the chat too. So we like anybody. Just make sure that there's no fighting, there's no bickering. We don't have any slurs around here, because if you have slurs and everything else and you be annoying, you are at. Oh, and here's Billy Starks, and Athena has the little shark on because it is Shark Week. Athena Elite Wednesday. I kind of like that. Woo. Those are fighting words. Yeah, Bose, I know. Said a lot of things about my client, but you know what? My client's going to be fine. And also, I know, Athena, you're focused on Tony. And I know everybody thinks like, oh, she's going to beat this Saturday. No. I would not underestimate Alex Windsor this Saturday on Collision. I would not be shocked if Tony Storm made an appearance in that match this week. I'm just saying, my client may make an appearance. But as Bosa mentioned, here comes that little weasel Stokely, because after taking a spear from Adam Copeland, he's in crutches. So we see FTR, and as Bosa mentioned, there is a tournament. Pretty much whoever wins gets a shot at the Hurt Syndicate at Forbidden Door. So it's going to be really interesting to see. And I'm happy. I'm very curious on this match because, the Hurt Syndicate has been dominant in the tag team division. I kind of said a couple weeks ago, they kind of need a hard reset. So this will be very interesting to watch. And also, facing off against the Outrunners. And plus, as a lover of tag team wrestling, I'm very happy to see the Outrunners on Wednesday. Oh! It's not the Outrunners, it's actually Jet Speed. Now, the bigger question is, who's going to need the win a lot more? Because Kevin Knight and Speedball are starting to gel a bit, and they can't afford to lose. Same thing with FTR. But I'm pretty sure they're going to be involved in something with Adam Copeland. Probably. It's okay, Boza. It happens. Like, we all make mistakes. That's okay. But excited to see these guys, and I love these guys. I love Speedball and Kevin Knight. I have to do a picture-in-picture because Councilman said Leon Slater and Kevin Knight are the same person. I feel like I need to do like a picture-in-picture and compare them and see if they're a lot alike. That's something I may do next week. Alex is a good wrestler, but with Collision Live, I wouldn't be surprised if she beats Athena with the title on the line. Yeah, exactly. I mean, I would not be shocked either because, of course, I would not be shocked if my client came in and distracted Athena because she is the forever women's champion. And yes, Terry, I do agree. The Outwinners are a very good tag team. I just want to see them get a lot more signature wins. They did have a really good match against FTR a couple weeks back on Collision Live. But here we go. FTR taking on Jet Speed. Obviously, you have that little weasel Stokely at ringside. And pretty much whoever wins advances on to the tournament. Curious on what other tag teams are going to be in this tournament as well. Because the winner of that match, well, they face off against the Hurt Syndicate at Forbidden Door. So, hopefully MVP can get in there. Because he says, where are the good tag teams and where are the competition? Well, you're going to get some competition. And also, sooner or later, FTR is going to interact with the Hurt Syndicate, especially after what happened at All In Texas. And also, feel free to put in the chat on who you guys got in this match. You got Jet Speed or FTR? And Jet Speed, they're on fire! Yeah, that little weasel. He's looking. And of course, Dax Yax trying to put heel tactors on the Speedball. Choking him with his jacket. So Terry, you think FTR is going to win with outside interference? Yeah, I wouldn't underestimate Stokely, but I have this feeling that Adam Copeland may like start stalking FTR because I know, as Stokely said last week, Adam Copeland can't put his hands. Ooh! Dax taking on that suplex. And another one by Speedball. But I would not be shocked with Adam Cole. And Adam Copeland, because even though last week Stokely said he can't put his hands on FTR, but he can put his hands on Stokely. So I would not be shocked if like Adam Copeland is kind of lurking during this match. And if you're watching on cable, this match, even though it's on picture-in-picture, is still going live. So it looks like Stokely and FTR are trying to regroup. So, yeah, feel free. And, like I said, on TV, we'll hear from Will Ospreay because you haven't seen him since All in Texas because he did get hurt. So very curious on what's next since him and Tori Strickland beat the Young Bucks. Oh, that's going to be fun. It just feels refreshing that the Young Bucks are not EVPs. And like I said, feel free to go in the chat with me. Your Timeless Elite. Right now, we have a tournament, tag team tournament between FTR and Jet Speed, and the winner of this match advances onto the tournament, and the winner, they get the ultimate prize, facing off against the Hurt Syndicate. Interesting, but FTR looks like they're juking and they're jiving. It looks like FTR trying to double team Kevin Knight. I actually do like the residency part. And we're back live in their second week of residency in Chicago. You're joining with me, the Timeless Elite, trying to get some nourishment in because it's been a long, long day, but I was able to get some dinner in between to make sure I was energized and ready to go for Dynamite tonight. Ooh, nice hurricane by Speedball. Nice double drop kick by Jet Speed. They're just so fun to watch. I love Kevin Knight and Speedball Mike Bailey. I mean, it's not my clients the Acclaimed, which I have some theories on this one too. I have a lot of theories on that, but we'll talk about that later in the night and in the coming weeks. So, like I said, nice double team. Oh, nice move! They are just so good. All right, Terry M asks, is Mercedes Moné on the show tonight? So Terry, unfortunately, Mercedes, as far as I know, she is not scheduled to appear. We have not seen her since she lost at All in Texas to my client, Toni Storm. I know Dr. Sampson was checking in on her after the match, and hopefully it's not too serious, and make sure she's 100% recovery. But she is competing in a match in Poland, and it looks like she's trying to add more to her belt collection, as she should. So I'm very curious on what the story is going to be next for Mercedes, especially the effects of having her first loss, and if she's going to be unhinged and a little bit unstable. That would be very interesting. And also, it'll be a development in her character, her accepting her first loss. Oh my God. Dax tried to high five a fan and he gave him the finger. Wow. Hi, disgusting master rank. Thank you for the compliment on my shirt. This is Britney Spears. Britney Spears is I grew up in an era when Britney Spears came, and I will still love her, even though, she's facing a lot of issues right now, and I hope she's in natural health, well spirits. That's what I love about Britney. That's what I love about her. But continuing this match, it looks like Dax is trying to put the knee onto Kevin Knight. Trying to put this on Kevin Knight and Speedball Mike Bailey. Speedball Mike Bailey, they're fighting back. They are fighting back. Ooh, and they just hit his ankle. They really did hit his ankle. Oh my goodness. Ooh, that was a close one. Dax kicked out. Looks like Dax is trying to put the sharpshooter on Kevin Knight. And the sharpshooter is locked. And will Kevin Knight tap out? Will he tap out? Oh, now it's a double sharpshooter. Double sharpshooter. Why do I feel like Adam Copeland's just going to come out of nowhere? Why do I feel? Oh, and it looks like it broke. Actually, Kevin Knight put his hand on the bottom rope. And Stokely's a little concerned. So is Dax and Cash. Oh, the crowd. See, the crowd is showing love to Jet Speed. I love that. They are showing a lot of love to Jet Speed, and I'm happy they're picking it up quickly. Ooh, nice suplex. Kevin Knight put his knees up. Yeah, I know. That little weasel has to be lying. But here comes Speedball from the top rope. What's he going to do here? Ooh, nice move. Tag team. Kick out made by Dax. Oh my God, that was so close. I really thought Jet Speed was that close. Okay, so it's Eliminator Series for the tag team titles. Oh, and they're showing this commercial of Darby Allin because, as you know, Darby Allin, he's back from Mount Everest, and he's a part of Shark Week tomorrow at 9 p.m. Caught Shark Strikes Back, so make sure to DVR that. Always good to see Darby. We did see him last week because it looks like he's stalking the Death Riders, which I love it. It kind of reminds me of like Sting. I know, right? It's a quarterfinal match, and it's getting picture-in-picture. And it's almost 8:30, too. Where has the time gone, guys? It's 8:30. That is crazy. That is crazy. Oh, so much is happening. I will say this is a really good match to... The fans are... Speedball and Dax are right outside with the fans. I know, didn't get much Hangman. I know, exactly. Well, we did see Hangman speak to Renee. And that's very interesting. Very, very interesting to see. But, yeah, you know, anybody that knows me knows I have a soft spot for tag teams. And I'm very excited that they are getting a lot of light. Because like I mentioned, with the Hurt Syndicate, I do see them having the belts throughout 2025. It's just you have to get a serious team to get over. And it's just really going to be interesting to see. I mean, there's a lot of, there are a few options on this. And also with the fact, too, it's going to be very interesting to see because there's a lot of, 1-2, kick out by Dax. It would be interesting, and FTR does not lose. They do not lose a lot of matches because outside of losing to the Young Bucks, you know who is one of the only tag teams, AEW homegrown tag teams that FTR did lose to? My clients see Acclaimed have a win over FTR. But, whoa, look at Sweetball. Oh my God. He needs to be in the Continental Classic later this year. He needs to be in it. Please, land it on his feet. Oh my goodness. 1, 2. Kick out by Dax. Oh my goodness. Well, I hope FDR did not think this was going to be a joke. And Stokely with crutches. So, oh my goodness, look at, oh my gosh! He fell on top. Oh, he landed on his feet near the timekeeper's desk. Oh my God. This tag team match is insane. I would not be shocked if this ended in a draw. And here comes Kevin Knight. What's he going to do here? Ooh, Dax has his feet up. Roll up. 2. Kick out by Kevin Knight. This is actually a really good way to kick off. This is a really good way to kick off. And the fans are going nuts. Fans are chanting AEW. They are chanting AEW. Kick out made by Dax. Ooh, powerbomb. Well, Kevin Knight, what's he going to do here? Oh my God, that was this close. I really thought that was 3. Oh, and that Weasel helped out. So your winners of this match is FTR. It's not a coincidence. Not a coincidence. Well, congratulations to them. Well, yeah, Excalibur, I know what you mean, but ugh. Okay, so they do have the tag team. So it's a quarterfinal. So they didn't announce the tag teams, but this is pretty much the bracket with the quarterfinal stages. I'm very curious on who else is going to be in it. Actually, I would not be surprised if the Don Callis family, if somebody from the Don Callis family gets involved. Of course, that Weasel got involved. Yeah. Oh, and here comes Tony Schiavone. Did Tony Schiavone learn his lesson? So he's in the ring congratulating FTR. Don't put your hands on Tony Schiavone. I'm waiting for Tony Schiavone to put his hands on that Weasel. Yeah, exactly. And then that Weasel, he's calling out Adam Copeland. Oh my goodness. Now he's whining, saying he should be in prison. Oh God, he's whining. He called him a loser? Oh, here he comes. Ask and you shall receive. Yeah, that's what I mentioned earlier. Like, he can't touch FTR, but he could touch Stokely. Oh my god. I know, Boza. I know, but I think she's with WWE. Maybe that could have caused it. But let's hear what Mr. Copeland has to say. I can't believe it. They're still singing his theme song. It's crazy. They know we said it word for word. The crowd is just so energized. Yeah, Boza, exactly. It's just a matter of time. They need to pull the trigger. Gentlemen. What? So he got the Hurt Syndicate. It's so crazy because they're supposed to be. I mean, you had to talk business. So I think with MVP, he's used to having business. Keyword, business. I know. I'm like, I don't get this either. Because usually the Hurt Syndicate are supposed to be heels, along with MJF. But I guess it's a business decision. And I guess because they're so over, it's so hard. Like it's over. The last time you seen it over was with the Acclaimed on that level. But it was only a matter of time you were going to see FTR take on the Hurt Syndicate. And also with the fact too, Edge. It's a moment. I think because Edge has a relationship with Shelton Benjamin. Yeah, I mean, it was sooner or later they were gonna brawl with each other, but I do see the Hurt Syndicate lasting for these titles throughout 2025. I guess MVP loves money. I think it's because MZC is so good as a mouthpiece. Yeah, I know exactly. That's why I'm saying, like, they are over. The last time you saw a tag team that was this over was my clients, the Acclaimed. Like, you've never seen a tag team be so over with the fans. It is crazy. And security had to establish the Hurt Syndicate. So I have a feeling these guys are going to meet at Forbidden Door. That's what I think. The FTR and the Hurt Syndicate are going to meet at Forbidden Door. And it's going to be very interesting. But I do see the Hurt Syndicate lasting for those titles throughout 2025. Because I rather for it. Oh! And Adam Copeland took out that weasel. And he's hopping on one foot, getting the heck out of here. Get that little weasel out of here. Oh my god. Oh my goodness. Well, I guess this was just business. And MVP loves money and business. No, that little weasel. Oh, okay. I thank you for that clarification, Boza. I might have missed that because I'm like looking. There was just so much chaos happening. But yeah, it's gonna lead to All Out, Copeland, Christian, FTR. But I do have a feeling FTR will probably win this tag team tournament because sooner or later they're gonna have to meet with the Hurt Syndicate. Oh, and speaking of that, here is Nick Wayne. All right. Uncaged. Well, here is Mr. Will Ospreay. Will Ospreay's in the building, and we're going to hear from the aerial assassin next, especially after what happened. Terry M, to be fair, Adam Copeland did. That little weasel Stokely deserved to have his hands put. As much devious as he done, he deserves to get a beat. That little weasel. Notice Mama Wayne is actually I guess, yeah. I would not be surprised either, Boza, if they were in the I would not be surprised if they were in the tournament. The question is who would be they facing against? Because there is a lot of tag teams that I could see probably being in there, like the Gates of Agony, Big Bill, and Brian Keith is a tag team I probably would see. Yeah, the infantry. I do definitely see the infantry doing that. I would have said Dustin and Sammy, but Dustin's the TNT champion, and he has business to take care of with Kyle Fletcher, because I have a feeling at Forbidden Door it's going to be Dustin versus Kyle Fletcher. Because after the promo that they did on Saturday on Collision, woo! There's just a lot of bad blood there. And also Kyle O'Reilly and Roderick Strong. That's another tag team I could see being in the quarterfinals. That is somebody. And also with the fact, too, I know Dustin does have beat belts. I know. It would have been work, but I'm okay with that. Because Dustin, like I said, he's dealing with Kyle Fletcher. He's dealing with that. I mean, it's probably going to be a match between those two at Forbidden Door. I could probably see that happening. So, like I said, I mean, Kyle O'Reilly, Roderick Strong is another team I would look at too. And also with the fact too, well, before they had to do a rematch with FTR, they actually got a pinfall victory over them before they had to restart the match. So I wouldn't mind seeing Roddy and Kyle be in there. I think they could be a capable tag team. I would not be shocked if any members from the Don Callis family would be a part of that tournament. Because since Kyle's doing his stuff with Dustin, and Takeshka is going to be in the G1 tournament soon, they just have to figure out what tag team they kind of have to work with. But all right, we get to see, and I got to see the commercial of Darby Allin because it is Shark Week, and he's going to be on Discovery tomorrow night at 9 p.m. So if you do watch Shark Week, if you're very much, feel free to check it out. There's so much happening. I'm excited. Yep, they're talking about Shark Week. I just wish, like, I know they like to do themes, but I kind of wish they did go all out with this because it is Shark Week. And I just love seeing themes. Oh, and let's hear from Jon Moxley. What do I feel like something is big about to happen with the Death Riders? I feel like something big. Because why do I feel like they're going to meet up again? Well, let's see. Well, John Moxley had a lot of interesting. Desperate for a fifth reign? I don't know about that. We shall see. Shark Week. Yeah, 50th anniversary of Jaws. I can't believe it. An all-time classic. If you love classic movies, make sure to watch Jaws. It's going to be very interesting because I feel like something big or something worse is going to happen with the Death Riders. And also, as you see, Darby Allin's on the trail. Like, he's been stalking since he came back. He's been stalking the Death Riders. And I love that they're doing it very slowly. And also, it does remind you a little bit of Sting when he did it back in WCW. But here is Will Ospreay, and he's going to be with Tony Schiavone. So let's hear what the aerial assassin has to say. I guess he's not clear to wrestle yet. He's still real beat up. Oh, wow. They did get the belt, but the war is still going on with the Death Riders. Let's not celebrate just yet. So he has 2 herniated discs, and it can be treatable. So it's a possibility he could be back at his home country at Forbidden Door if everything goes well. Of course, he had to give shout out to his buddy Swerve. Woo! Will Ospreay! Woo! He's coming. coming. I think almost everybody's coming for them. So, it's weird that Sting stayed in the Raptors in WWT. During that time, he was more over than anybody. It is kind of weird. I guess because with Sting, he just has this mysterious look. And plus, everybody respected him. You never heard like a bad thing about Sting because he was always so respectable to people in the back. And he was always a decent friend. Do it. And here comes Will Ospreay's buddy, Swerve Strickland. And also make sure to check out Swerve's podcast because even though it was last year, Will Ospreay was on his podcast, and I did love the friendship that they had, and also talked about Batman and everything else. So make sure to check out Swerve's podcast. So as I said, Hechicero from the Don Callis family will be facing off against Swerve Strickland later tonight. Is it possible to return to the ring in a month of neck injuries? I mean, I know they had to deal with a lot of segues after what happened with Adam Cole, because that happened hours before All in Texas. So they also had to deal with pivoting a lot of things. And of course, with Will Ospreay, hopefully he does get a lot of time off. And it looks like we have a stable within the ladies division. Sky Blue, Julia Hart, and Tekla. I actually am okay. Ooh, and we get to see Willow. She's with Renee. And it's going to be interesting. And I really want her match against Marina Shafir. I've been wanting that match. Oh, yeah. Willow talking about last week. It looks like Willow is challenging Tekla. Woo! Yes, Boza. Actually, I'm very intrigued with this stable between Julia Hart, Sky Blue, and Tekla. And also, you could tell by the stare that Julia Hart and Tekla, it's just right there. If there's ever a time for Shark Boy to show up, it's definitely... Actually, it's funny you mentioned that because Shark Boy was actually on AEW's socials earlier today promoting Shark Week, and that's crazy. Oh, absolutely. She has no problem dealing with that. And also with the fact, too, there is, I know Queen Amanada has been having issues with Tekla because her and Tekla have been going at it, so it makes a lot of sense. And also, we could see the possibly return of my client, Jamie Hayter, at Forbidden Door, because I know she was pretty banged up at Double or Nothing, and I wouldn't mind seeing her in the UK in front of her home country at Forbidden Door. Because she was the first victim to Tekla when she made her debut on AEW Dynamite. So, look, my client, Jamie Hayter, and that's okay. That's okay. I didn't think your comments were rude. It's just, it happens. And we all want wrestlers to recover because they have serious injuries. And that's why I kind of have to really argue with people, because when people really say the F word when it comes to wrestling, that's when I kind of have to draw that line, because it's like, I like to see you do the moves that they do. I like to see you do it 365 days a year. I like to see you do countless traveling and media appearances, and also breaking every single bone of their body, sacrificing everything. So that's why I like to see you do that stuff in the ring. And if you never helped out anything regarding professional wrestling, if you were a ring announcer, a commentator, or just even helped out with the back, it's not your place to say anything. So that's just my 2 cents. Hi, Eddie Foster. Thank you for joining on Timeless Elite Wednesday. And it's almost 9 o'clock. I just can't believe it. I just can't believe it is 9 o'clock. Almost. Well, it's almost 9 o'clock, but getting hour 1 and just wrapping up the final hour. And it's been a very interesting Dynamite, because we're in the second week of the residency in Chicago. We kicked off with Hangman Adam Page saying a few words, him encountering with MJF. Then he faced off against that runt Wheeler Yuta. Hangman got the win and putting a threat into the Death Riders. We also got to see an amazing tag team match between Jet Speed and FTR. Pretty much, it's a tournament to determine who is going to face the Hurt Syndicate for the AEW tag team titles at Forbidden Door. So FTR won, and I'm very curious on what the other tag teams. You know what would be really interesting, and I know this is going to sound crazy. I wouldn't mind seeing Private Party. I wouldn't mind seeing a Private Party make a surprise entrant. That would be really interesting. But I know their contracts are about to be up, so we shall see. Wrestling is magic. It's art, and summer. Exactly. It's like an art. It's entertaining, and it's also an art. And have to make sure to be track of your safety. But they're showing what happened earlier tonight with FTR and the Hurt Syndicate encountering. I mean, sooner or later, they were going to MVP trying to hit his cane in the back. Usually, I don't condone it because I didn't appreciate MVP hitting it on Swerve or Jet Speed, but this one I'll give an exception. But yeah, this happened earlier tonight. All right, so Renee is with the Hurt Syndicate, so we'll hear what they have to say. Oh, you're not at a lot of attention. Business decision. Yeah, get Renee out of there. Get her out of there. Get Renee out of there. Well, MVP gets very serious. Woo! I know. Hurt Syndicate turning face. I know. I saw them as a heel. Oh, and we get to hear from the Forever Ring of Honor champion, Athena. Oh, and also, hold on to your seats. Here is my client, the reigning and defending AEW Women's Champion. There she is. Oh, she's looking fabulous as ever. Oh my God, F around and find out. I know. Because normally when the Hurt Syndicate, it's funny because when the Hurt Syndicate came on, I really thought they were heels, but I think they're changing them as faces only because FTR is the heel. So that makes a lot of sense. I mean, but I think sooner or later they're gonna turn back to heels anyway. And also with the fact that they're so over, that's also gonna be very interesting too. Yeah, I would kind of hold off for them with the Acclaim somewhere down the line in 2026. I would hold off on that. Yes, my client is here to Grace, and here is her opponent, Billie Starkz. Billie Starkz is definitely somebody not to be joking, because I know she is Athena's quote-unquote minion, but she has made her mark since coming into AEW. She faced off against Mercedes Moné. She was part of the Owen Hart Cup Women's Tournament against Jamie Hayter, along with many other things. So she is not a person to be slouched with, and I got to see her match at Ring of Honor Final Battle against Athena for the Ring of Honor Women's title. I really thought Billie was going to win it, but that was not the case. So this is going to be a very good match. They're chanting for Tony. I mean, how can you not love my client? Also, with the fact, too, WrestleCon is next week. And I just saw the list for WrestleCon because next week, supposedly, Ospreay's supposed to be there. Deanna's supposed to be there. Harley Cameron's supposed to be there. And also my client, the Timeless One, will be there next week. I don't know if I can get an interview with her, but there's actually some interesting ones. But it's not going to be just for clicks. It's really just kind of, seeing this is her best year. And she's a fighting champion. And seeing what she wants to do next. And also, who would she like to face for the AEW Women's title? Actually, the question is, will we see her and Jamie Hayter go at it? Because a lot of people don't know they actually have. Jamie Hayter and Toni Storm have an untold story that needs to be said. And I think that would be really good going into All In Wembley next year. Toni. She's just great. Athena doesn't want Billie to win. She wants it. Yeah, she really does. But also, as I mentioned, Athena's putting her Ring of Honor Women's title on the line against Alex Windsor this Saturday on Collision. Just breathe if you somehow. Oh, trust me, I will breathe. I will breathe with Toni Storm. I will be cool and collective as I'll ever be. Because, you have to be very professional and you have to give yourself a pause. Really collect yourself. And also get yourself in position. So, ooh, nice move by Billie Starkz. This is actually giving me a fun match. And for the ladies, it's not even 9:30 yet. Well, there's Athena, the forever Ring of Honor champion. Okay, let's see what Billie Starkz is going to do. Ooh, nice cannonball outside of the ring by Billie Starkz. I mean, I wouldn't mind seeing Billie being in there because, like I said, she's young, but she's learning. She's no spring chicken. Ooh. Kick out made by Toni. And also feel free to put in the channel, who do you think should Toni Storm face off at Forbidden Door? Because I don't want Athena yet, because I feel like Athena's still she's still sitting. Oh my goodness. It was going to happen sooner or later that the Hurt Syndicate was really getting tired of Max. And also with the fact, too, him and Adam Copeland are still butting heads. And Bobby Lashley said he ain't fair Rockies. It would be interesting to see, and I would not be shocked if MJF realigned himself with FTR. It wouldn't shock me at all one bit. But it is picture in picture, and the match is still going on with my client, the Timeless One, and Billy Starks. We still have Claudio Castagnoli taking on the ever-loving, heart-pounding Mark Briscoe. And also, as I mentioned, Hechicero will take out Swerve Strickland. Truth be told, MJF. Well, that is true for a minute, because with the fact, as I mentioned earlier, the Hurt Syndicate is so over. It's really hard because you would always see them be a heel, but since the fans go crazy, it's very hard to do that. It's very, very hard. But we shall see what happens, because I'm very curious on where this is going to go. Kick out made by Billy Starks. Kick to the face by Billy Starks. As I mentioned, she's no slouch. She put on a really good match with Mercedes Moné when she defended her TBS title. She's somebody I would not want to mess with. And we are back live at AEW Dynamite in their second week of Chicago residency. My client, the AEW Women's Champion, Toni Storm, taking on Athena's Minion. See, Billy Starks, this is what you did. This is what you did to my client, because the most dangerous you could have Toni Storm is when she has her back against the wall and everything goes against her. And the same thing, I said it a couple weeks ago, leading to her match at All in Texas with Mercedes Moné. Because everybody kept picking Mercedes because people thought it was the obvious choice and everything else, and she was collecting the belts. But I said the most dangerous you can have Toni Storm is when she has her back against the wall. And that's something you don't want to see. But here's Athena. Athena's looking on. And hopefully she takes this very seriously. Also, I hope she takes her match at Saturday on Collision very seriously. I'm just saying. It would be nice to see Alex Windsor make an appearance. And actually, she's my latest client to the Timeless Tenacious Empire. Because, of course, I do have Caster and I do have Bowens, but two of my clients are on the shelf. Orange Cassidy, because he tore his pectoral muscle back in March, and Jamie Hayter, because we haven't seen her since after Double or Nothing. She's injured as well. So I have two people on the shelf, and I have to figure out who I'm going to add. So Alex Windsor is my latest client, because she's been very eyed. And also, it's not because she's with Will Ospreay, but she is no joke in the UK. Kick out by Toni Storm. But Billy Starks has been putting work. There's Toni. She's really they're both of these ladies are really putting an effort in, and I love it. I just wish there was more appearance from the ladies on Dynamite. Actually, both shows even. That's all I want. Give them more backstage segments. One, two. Ooh, Billy Starks had the tights too. She had the tights. German suplex. Is Toni going to end this here? She got the hip attack. And is she ready to do Storm Zero? No, Billy Starks, she countered. 2, kick out. Billy Starks was that close. Athena's looking on. It just would have been funny to see Alex Windsor come from the balcony and just beat the crap out of Athena. Because I would have hyped up their match for Saturday. Let's see. Billy Starks. Ooh, Tony blocked it. And is she... Oh, she's going for the submission hold. Is she going to tap right here? Yeah, she tapped right here. Winner. My submission. My client. The timeless one. The reigning, defending, yet dangerous women's champion. Hi, Templar Knight. Thank you for joining on Timeless Elite Wednesday. Yes. And oh my goodness, Billy Starks hit her with that women's title belt. Turn it. Yes, she did. But unfortunately, that was cut. It's really interesting because I will not be shocked if Athena. Well, Billy Starks is telling Athena to come back here. And she threw Aubrey Edwards! She threw the referee! What did Aubrey ever do to you? And Tony, she's kind of... And it looks like Athena really wants to cash it on her. She's on her way to the ring. She really wants to cash it in. And we know Mina Shirokana broke her hand. I know. I wish Rosa did win the title. It would be nice for Alex Windsor to come out because she's facing Athena this weekend, and that could hype up their match. Oof. Athena is putting a lot of damage on the Tony. Because like I said, Luther's out with the injury. Mina Shirokana broke her hand, so she's out for a while. But this would be a good opportunity for Alex Windsor to come out. And it looks like, does she want to? And she threw Aubrey Edwards back in the ring. Is she really trying to cash this in? See? My latest client, Alex Windsor. I knew she was going to come out here because that could hype up their match this weekend. Ooh, see, I would not be shocked if Alex did win this weekend. I would not be shocked if Tony came in during her match. Tony, I'll be worried about Tony. She's fine. Tony will be fine. But I don't know why, but I feel like I smell a tag team match between Alex Windsor and Tony Storm against Athena and Billy Starks next week. And I could see, like I said, I could see an appearance for I could see an appearance from Tony Storm this weekend. This Saturday during the match too. So Alex helping up the women's champion. I would love look, my latest client. Let's see, I got two of my favorite ladies helping out the timeless one, but we shall see. I know. Athena's forgetting she's rematched Alex Windsor. Yep. Like I said, my latest client, Alex Windsor is no joke. Athena is there. Well, to be fair, Templar Knight, I mean, Athena is the forever Ring of Honor Women's Champion, and even though she's held that for around 800 plus days, she technically does have a loss. Just one against Mercedes Moné. So unfortunately, and it kind of stinks because I know a lot of people. Oh, that's awesome! You do like Thunder Rosa, and also with the fact too, gotta wish a happy birthday to Thunder Rosa. La Mela Mela. It was her birthday. I think her birthday was either today or yesterday. So we wanted to wish Thunder Rosa a happy birthday. Former AEW Women's Champion. I know she had to relinquish the title because of injury, but definitely a shout out to her. Played a contribution in women's wrestling. So feel free to put in the chat on, do you have a favorite Thunder Rosa moment? And it could be right before she was signed to AEW. It doesn't have to be in AEW, but anything before she was signed. So, Terry, the Don Callis family are your neighbors. Oh my goodness, I can imagine that being interesting. That would be very interesting to have the Don Callis family as your neighbors, having to deal with Don Callis. Oh my god. That's hilarious. That is hilarious. That would be the Don Callis family. But yeah, Hechicero will take on Swerve Strickland. You can imagine ringside. I think everybody, I know people are going to look at this match, but I think people are going to be looking outside of the ring because Don Callis, Prince Nana, of course, you have the Young Bucks because technically they have somewhat of a quote-unquote alliance with the Don Callis family because, of course, they share a mutual dislike to Kenny Omega, and we're happy to see him getting destroyed. And also with the fact, too, it looks like Swerve's going to pick up a fight with Okada. Years ago, I lived a few doors away from Kenny Omega's muggle. Oh, that's nice. That's nice. I'm happy to hear that. That's pretty awesome that you weren't a free door from Kenny Omega's muggle. Don Callis and Prince Nana have a history. Thank you for that, Boza, and that is true. They do have a history, and I would not underestimate Prince Nana at all because he's somebody I would not want to mess with. Because even though he has his coffee and everything else, he can have a weapon in his hand. And like I said, I will never forget last year at Double or Nothing. It was Swerve when he was champion against Christian Cage, and Prince Nana had a pipe on his hand and ran and chased Nick Wayne out of the arena. I was just like, oh my goodness. That was just hilarious. Dog can't fight. Yeah, that is true. It's funny he can put his hands on people, but people can't put his hands on him. I just find that funny. But they're ready for this match, and look at all the crowd. They're into Swerve Strickland's theme song, and the manager, Nana. Chicago is happy that Nana is here. The crowd is dancing. I now know the fans love. Yeah, he's always filled with the Holy Spirit every week. And we were at Queen of the Ring for the red carpet, me and Honey, we actually had the chance to meet Prince Nana because we were a little bit unsure because we thought almost everybody from AEW was in LA for Revolution that week. But thankfully, some of them came by, and Honey has a clip up where she actually did the dance with Prince Nana, and he was just so welcoming, so nice, so sweet. He's one of the coolest managers in AEW, along with Don Callis. Him and Don Callis are showing the managerial side of it. And MVP. I will also put MVP on that list too, because he is showing the true side of being a really good manager. So kudos to them, and we definitely need good managers. Yes, Eddie Foster, whose house, Swerve's house. But like I said, this could really help with the fact that oh yeah, that creep. That creep. Ugh. Oh, please. Oh yeah, because the next pay-per-view is Death Before Dishonor in September. Hechicero. Oh boy. Of course, he had to do the introduction of it, and as we mentioned a couple weeks ago, it looks like that will be Bandino's next contender. Terry, to be honest, I don't think, well, sooner or later, but to be fair, Nana actually was one of the reasons that made Swerve into what he is. Because with that, you need to have a really good manager and just have that gel. So, not yet, but I think just let him be his manager for now. If JR was here, he would say Duncan. I know, right? He's a fanny of my life. Like I said, I would not be shocked if we saw the remaining members of the Don Callis family, Okada. I would be shocked if we see an appearance from Bandino, really, because Bandino, Brody, and a lot of others have had issues with the Don. I feel like almost everybody. I feel like so far within these last couple of months, almost everybody has an issue with the Don Callis family. It's insane. But here we go. Hechicero against Swerve Strickland. I know, right? I really thought Don Callis was going to be at ringside, but yeah, he's doing commentary, that creep. But I would not be shocked if he try. I would not be shocked if Don Callis tried to put his hands on Swerve, because I need Prince Nana to defend his client. I need him to defend. Oh my god! And then they're saying F Don Callis. That is crazy. They're saying F Don Callis. That is hilarious. That is hilarious. Oh boy. That is funny. Oh my goodness. That is really hilarious. And they're also showing the upcoming dates for AEW. Also this past weekend, Saturday, October 18th, St. Louis, Missouri, Wrestle Dream will be coming in October. Pre-sale begins tomorrow. So that's another PLE. I know with everything that happened all in Texas, they kind of had to make it at a later date, which actually makes a lot of sense because Forbidden Doors at the end of August. You have All Out in Toronto after you do the residency in Philly, and then you have Wrestle Dream in St. Louis. I'm very curious on where Full Gear and World's End is going to be at. Very, very curious on where that's going to be. Oh, Swerve Strickland's mimicking Hechicero, his, what he does right before he gets into the ring. I thought that was really funny. I guess Hechicero didn't like that, so, yeah. Ooh, a slap on the chest by Swerve. And also, feel free to put in the chat who you guys got in this match. Do you have Hechicero? Do you have Swerve? Or do you think there's going to be a lot of shenanigans in this match? Feel free to put in the chat who you guys got. Because I have a feeling with Ospreay injured, I have a feeling it's going to be Okada versus Swerve at Forbidden Door. For some odd reason. I just really sense it. Because after that encounter last week, and Okada backed away after Swerve, that would be a really cool match, especially in London and the partnership with New Japan. That's a possibility. And also with the fact too, for the Young Bucks are not EVPs anymore. They're quote unquote EVPs. And look, that creep is on commentary. And then even though the match is on picture in picture, the match is still going live with Hechicero and Swerve Strickland. Now I'm very curious because we have one more match after this, Claudio versus Mark Briscoe. And I'm very curious on what is going to close AEW Dynamite. I'm very, very curious. Because that's the only other match that's there. That's something I'm very curious on. But soon to be MJF appears live. I guess we're gonna hear from MJF probably later on after this. Because I could have sworn that counted when he was talking with Hangman, but I guess he's gonna be entering the ring. And also with the fact too, he's in Happy Gilmore 2, which is gonna be out on Netflix this week. So feel free, if you have Netflix, check out the movie. It's also gonna have Nikki Bella, Becky Lynch, of course, obviously with Adam Sandler. Feel free to go check it out. Where's Chris Jericho? So, Terry, that's actually a good question. So, the last time we saw Chris Jericho, unfortunately, was at the Dynamite after Dynasty, where he was a little bit unhinged and used his bat to hit during TV time, pretty much making crazed, unhinged, and disappointed in Big Bill and Brian Keith. So, after that, he left. But in actuality, he's on tour with Fozzy. He's on tour with Fozzy right now. And I know, like, they just wrapped up the US. They're getting ready to go on tour in the UK. So, probably somewhere down the line before 2025 ends, we'll probably see him on TV. I'm very curious on what's going to happen between him, the Bad Apple, and Big Bill. And I know because Chris Jericho is one of my favorite wrestlers, and I know people dogged on him with the learning tree and everything else, but also with the fact too, when was the last time you've seen both Brian Keith and Big Bill get a lot of TV time on a frequent basis since joining the learning tree? I know Big Bill has had it when Paige was there and when MJF was there, but this is like the most TV time I've seen him since he's been with the learning tree. So you gotta give at least Chris Jericho some slack. I mean, yeah, he has a big ego, but all of wrestlers have egos. But I'm looking, even though the match is in picture, I'm looking at this match between Swerve and Hechicero. Prince Nana at ringside, Don Callis on commentary. But we're back live. This is your tiniest elite, your PR princess, Stone Cold Courtney, whatever you want to call me. We are back live, as I mentioned, Swerve Strickland, Hechicero, one-on-one. For some odd reason, I do smell shenanigans in this match because, you know, it's the Don Callis family. They always travel. I'm pretty sure we'll probably see an appearance from Okada. Would not be shocked to see the Young Bucks. Probably an appearance by Bandino. But I do think at Forbidden Door, it's going to be Swerve versus Okada. These guys are both even. And I guess Swerve is immune to pain because he's used to it. I mean, we've seen him laugh when he had staples to his chest. Ooh, nasty kick to the face by Swerve. And I know you mentioned he's a dad. I'm very curious if his children ever watched wrestling or a fan of wrestling and ever watched any of his matches. And what goes through their minds when they see their dad wrestle on TV. And he's doing the gritty. And he's doing Hechicero. I will say, I do like the venue that they have for Chicago. It's very nice. It's vintage. and I see people sitting on the Raptors. It's just so nice to watch. Okay, so MJF is going to be here live later tonight. And still to come, Mark Briscoe and Claudio Castagnoli. I'm pretty sure we'll probably see a little bit of the Death Riders and a little bit of the conglomeration. 450 splash by Swerve. Kick out made by Hechicero. Ooh, looked like Hechicero was trying to put a submission hold on Swerve. But Swerve was trying to break it off. And, ooh, Hechicero got it locked in on his arm. Ooh. Oof. Swerve is quick. Swerve was trying to feel it. I think that smirk that he has, I think he's ready to wrap up this match by the look on his face. Oh, and wait a minute. And I knew there was going to be shenanigans. Lance Archer. I think it looks like Josh Alexander outside the ring. Like I said, Takeshita, he's doing the G1 tournament. Kyle Fletcher, he has business against Dustin for the TNT title. I know. And like I said, here comes Bandito. Here comes Brody. Because Bandito's been having issues with the Don Callis family, and so has Brody. Like I said, I would not be surprised if Okada came out or the Young Bucks. See, told you. Okada hit Swerve at the back with a steel chair. Yeah, they're definitely having a match at Forbidden Door. They are definitely having it. Caught him with the cheap shot. Josh Alexander. What's Swerve doing? Headbutt onto Okada. Where's Prince Nana? Where is he? And he's got the chair. Ooh. He's really going for a house call. And he scared Okada off. Mm-mm-mm. You could tell there's a lot of bad blood between those two. And I think Nana probably got pushed off by the members of the Don Callis family. Swear, hey, look, he has that mean mug on his face, and he means business. But as I mentioned, they're going to have a match at Forbidden Door. Also, I would not be shocked during that match. Kenny Omega makes his return. I would not be shocked at all. But yes, Swerve wants Okada. Oh, And last Saturday on Collision, they're showing the highlights between Ricochet and AR Fox, the Gates of Agony. But then also during that match, the Gates of Ricochet interfered in the Fatal 4-Way Tag Team match. Ricochet, but it looks like Juice Robinson wants a piece of Ricochet. And here comes Ricochet with the Gates of Agony. Yeah, they did win the money. Oh my god, it's so. But he makes it so well. He has that to hell of it as a heel. I mean, you can't not Ricochet for that. Ricochet claiming one. Yeah, I know. Well, I mean, maybe this is good for the Gates of Agony to align with Ricochet and be a serious contender. I would actually not be shocked if the Gates of Agony were in that tournament for the tag team titles. I would not be shocked about that. But it's going to be very interesting to see Ricochet and the Gates of Agony. And it looks like they'll be picking a fight with Juice Robinson and the Guns. But unfortunately, I looked on socials for a little bit that I think it was either Colton or Austin. It looked like one of them suffered a serious injury. So hopefully it's not too serious. And they just came back after getting destroyed by the Hurt Syndicate. They got destroyed. So that's another thing. And it kind of sucks because I feel like some wrestlers like the Guns and a lot of people, they've just been hurt with bad luck. That really, really sucks. He has a look on his face with his big ball head that you can slap so hard you can show him where Kingdom is. Yeah, I mean, the fans chant bald whenever he comes out, whenever Don Callis comes out, pretty much anybody that's bald. So, but it looks like MJF is supposed to be appearing in the ring next live, and I'm guessing the main event would be Claudio versus Mark Briscoe, which it makes a lot of sense because we'll probably see the Death Riders in the main event, and probably see members of the conglomeration come in as well. So that still intact there, because the war with the Death Riders is far, far from over. And also, you gotta keep a sharp eye out for Darby Allin, because Darby Allin's been stalking the Death Riders since he came back the last couple weeks. But it was nice to see Bryan Danielson again at All in Texas. But before I mention, I'm very intrigued by this trio of Julia Hart, Tekla, and Sky Blue. I think this is going to be a very interesting trio that's really going to cause a lot of havoc in the women's division. And very curious, will Julia Hart finally get her TBS title back? That is the question. Will she get her TBS title? So here we go. After that interesting interaction with the Hurt Syndicate earlier today, we're going to hear from MJF. And also, it wouldn't shock me at all with MJF, because MJF paired off with FTR before, so it wouldn't shock me if he realigned himself with that, because very curious how this is gonna go. And Bobby Lashley said earlier he wants MJF out. So let's hear what MJF has to say after that interesting interaction with the Hurt Syndicate. And it's going to be very interesting to see this dynamic, because you have Christian and Adam Copeland. I just hope they don't drop the ball that they did with Christian. Oh, and speaking of that, here comes Mark Briscoe. Mark Briscoe has had his issues with MJF the last couple of weeks, along with Mystico. And also remember, Mark Briscoe has a match against Claudio. Oh, it is the main event, so that's good to know. That's the main event. And I'm happy Mark Briscoe is getting a lot of TV time as a singles guy. I'm happy to see him. I always love seeing Mark Briscoe every week. Them boys. Kosher pickle. Oh my god! Oh, next week. Well, I mean, it's the final week of the residency in Chicago. Next week. Of course he would say no. Calls everybody schmucks. Well, I mean, he was in the Continental Classic last year. Got a lot of TV time. Why did he have to put his brother in there? If I were MJF, I would probably get the heck out of there. It's really funny. He likes to take shots at a lot of people at their expense. But oh boy, if you take a shot at him, done deal. Hi, Maria. Thank you for joining on Timeless Elite Wednesday with your PR princess, Stone Cold Courtney with ya. But Mark, I would focus on his match against Claudio. It's just very hard to do because I know him and the rest of the conglomeration's been having issues with the Death Riders. And I just feel like I saw some shenanigans in this match. So I would not be shocked if Moxley and Marina made an appearance in this match. But I still want Willow versus Marina Shafir. I've been asking for this match for the last couple of months. I want it to happen. That's all I want. I just want it to happen. Oh, anytime, Bosa. I'm happy you guys are enjoying week 2 of the residency in Chicago. And next week is their final week. YT's. I know. But I know, Bosa, but I believe it's going to happen. I believe it's going to happen. I'm manifesting it because I want this to happen. I know Willow is supposed to be with Tekla, but I believe it's going to happen sooner than you think. But I do want to thank everybody for joining on this watch along for Timeless Elite Wednesday with your PR princess, Stone Cold Courtney, whatever you want to call me. It has been truly a fun time because we are in week 2 of the residency in Chicago. And also this Saturday on Collision, it will be live. The Ring of Honor Women's Championship, Athena taking on Alex Windsor. That match is happening this weekend. So we shall see on that. I'm pretty sure we'll probably get some more matches happening for Collision this weekend, probably in the quarterfinals tournament. But here we go. This is main event time. Mark Briscoe taking on Claudio Castagnoli. And I know these guys have been going neck and neck because, like I said, the Death Riders have been pulling strings with almost everybody, especially with the conglomeration when Moxley was feuding with my client, freshly squeezed Orange Cassidy. So I'm sure the conglomeration would all want a piece of the Death Riders. And also it's very interesting, too, that 2 members of the Death Riders, Hologram and Ish, were backstage watching Kyle O'Reilly. Because Kyle O'Reilly's with Roderick Strong. So that's also interesting. And also feel free to put in the chat on who you guys got. You guys got Mark Briscoe or Claudio? Okay, so AEW Collision, the World Tag Team titles eliminator tournament continues. So I'm pretty sure we'll find out on socials that'll be happening alongside the Ring of Honor Women's Championship match. Very curious on what other tag teams are going to be in this tournament. As I mentioned, we saw it earlier many times. Ring of Honor Women's Championship match. So I'm pretty sure in the coming days between now and Saturday, we'll see what matches happen. But like I said earlier, I do want to thank everybody for joining on this watch along for Timeless Elite Wednesday with me. It has been super, super fun. I don't think I'm going to do a post show tonight. It's been a very, very, very long day for me, but I think you guys kind of knew the gist of everything else. But been a solid episode of Dynamite. I'm really happy they're starting to rotate some of their stars in AEW, so we get to see a little glimpse of them here and there. So it's not like the same stars that we see every week. And happy to see some stars we don't get to see on the week-to-week basis get an opportunity to shine the big stage. I'm happy to see Mark Briscoe do that. We did get to see a little bit of Willow. Also, the Don Callis family is getting an opportunity to shine with the fact Takeshita, he is in the tournament. You could tell between Briscoe and Claudio, it was definitely going to be brutal. And also, of course, on Saturday on Collision, seeing what's happening with the TNT Championship, Dustin, Kyle Fletcher, I'm sure they're going to probably be meeting at Forbidden Door for the TNT Championship. I love the fans. I love the energy in Chicago. These people are just so energized from this residency. And it looks like they're not bored. They're just happy wrestling is here in town. Ooh. Claudio swung Mark Briscoe onto the barricade. Ugh. So this match, even though it's in picture-in-picture, the match is still going on live. Mark Briscoe is still lying on the floor. The referee's checking in on him. But as I mentioned, I do want to thank everybody for joining on this watch along. Don't think I'm going to do a post show. It has been a long, long day for me. And also last night we did kayfabe. Myself, Professor, Honey, Will, Dion said we were all on kayfabe. Go check out last night's episode. It was pretty funny. And it was also very intense on finding who is the greatest Canadian wrestler, because there were just so many hard choices to make. So many hard choices. It's just insanity. But I'm very interested on this debate. It's going to be so fun. And I'm so excited. But looking at this match, Alright, so it looks like Claudio had to get her hand here. Looks like Claudia's been on the upper hand side of this match so far. But Mark Briscoe came back in the ring. In the match, and we are back live with the main event. Claudio Castagnoli, Mark Briscoe. My goodness. Mark Briscoe, the one thing about him is he does not give up easily. And also, as announced earlier today, AEW Wrestle Dream will be in St. Louis, Missouri, Saturday, October 18th. So tickets will be going on sale soon. And if you have not seen a AEW pay-per-view up close in person, it is the opportunity to see it. Oh! There's Darby Allin. He is staring right at them. he did it last week with Moxley. Now he's doing it this week with Claudio. Oh man, Darby's ready for a purpose, and I just love it that he's walking in the audience with no security. Well, I'm sure there's security around him, but I just find it hilarious, Darby. Oh man. I just love that Darby is just stalking and creeping the Death Riders just slowly. Not to mention they're still not done with Hangman. I just hope with Hangman's reign, I just hope they don't make it into a dud. That's all I want. All right, what's Mark Briscoe gonna do here? Ooh, nice cannonball through the middle ropes, and the fans just love Mark Briscoe. Bang bang! Tribute to Cactus Jack. Mick Foley. I mean, come on, Cactus Jack, man. He's giving high fives. All I love that. They're giving high fives to all the fans. Ooh, nice cannonball. Mark Briscoe's feeling it. Mark Briscoe's going on the top rope. He wants to end this match. Ooh, he's feeling froggy. 1, 2. Kick out made by Claudio. And Mark Briscoe wants to end this, but Claudio is breaking it off. Referee. Nice counter by Mark Briscoe. Claudio's face looked winded. What's Claudia doing? Oh my goodness! Suplex at the top rope. Kick out made by Mark. Claudia wants to end this match here. Mark Briscoe, he's like, not today. He wants to counter this match. Ooh, thumb to the eye. Uppercut. Kick out made. I thought that was it, but Mark Briscoe, he's not giving up and he ain't quitting. Oh, package 1, 3. Mark Briscoe got the win! Mark Briscoe got the win. Your winner of the main event is Mark Briscoe. He's building momentum. I would not be shocked if he was in the Continental Classic later this year. And little busted open by Mark, but and here goes Marina Shafir taking out Mark Briscoe. And this would be really good for Willow to come out because, she's friends with Mark Briscoe. I'm pretty sure, hopefully we see the rest of the conglomeration come out. Look at Moxley. Oof. Yeah, the Death Riders really want to make a mark. It would be nice to see the rest of the conglomeration come out here. Well, here comes Hangman. Here comes Mr. Hangman. Cowboy. Yeah, it's like with my client Orange Cassidy. Orange Cassidy came with a purpose. Oh, next week? Hangman Mox for the world title? Well, that is true. To be fair. So next week, it'll be Hangman putting his title on the line against Jon Moxley. Obviously, it would be in the final week of Chicago. Yeah, pretty much. Hangman said it. He said it with a purpose. And look, graphics up for next week. Everyone is banned from ringside. And yeah, Terry, they did put on a solid show tonight in AEW Dynamite. That is true. You got to keep an eye on MJF, but also, Boza, you got to keep an eye on Darby Allin, because Darby Allin's been lurking these last couple weeks. Got to keep an eye out on him, and maybe Bryan Danielson, because we did see him at All in Texas. He may be lurking too. But yeah, definitely MJF, definitely Darby Allin. You got to keep a close eye on. And it's very fitting because next week is the final week of their residency in Chicago. So I feel like they had to go out with a bang. But that pretty much ends Dynamite. This ends AEW Dynamite of week 2 of their residency in Chicago. I'm not going to do a post show tonight because there's been so much action happening and you guys kind of know the rest. So it has definitely been fun, but we now know next week Moxley, Hangman for the AEW World Title. Everyone is banned from ringside. Also, this Saturday on Collision, we will continue the tournament for the tag team tournament to determine who will be the number 1 contender for the AEW World Tag Team titles at Forbidden Door against the Hurt Syndicate. We don't know who the teams are going to be competing for this weekend, but we'll probably know between now and Friday. Of course, we also know the Ring of Honor Women's World Championship will be on the line. Athena will be taking on Alex Windsor, and I'm sure we're going to see my client, Tony Storm, somewhere lurking in there. But it has been a fun night, and I give AEW Dynamite, I give it a solid 9 out of 10. 9 out of 10. It did what it needed to do. It was a solid episode. Second week of residency in Chicago and just really continue building that momentum. I do like to see that some storylines are starting to pick up, especially with the Don Callis family, because as I mentioned, almost everybody's feuding with the Don Callis family. Swerve with Okada. It looks like there's tension with the Hurt Syndicate and MJF. Also, Willow looks like, I feel like, look, I'm still manifesting that Willow versus Marina is going to happen. I don't know when, but I am manifesting that moment. That is going to happen. Also, really curious to see what's next because it looks like, I'm just going to say FTR is going to win that tournament and face off against Hurt Syndicate. And also seeing MJF realign with FTR, which is not surprising me because that's also going to lead to All Out in Toronto with Edge and Christian. Because we have not seen Christian since All in Texas. So, all this and more. And I'm not going to do a post show tonight, but I give it a solid 9 out of 10. Thank you for joining on this watch along of Timeless Elite Wednesday with your PR princess, Stone Cold Courtney, with all of you. It has been a fun night with all of you. You guys it would make sense if we were getting Adam and Christian versus FTR in Toronto for FTR to win. Yeah, exactly. Because like I said, if Edge and Christian versus FTR is happening in Toronto, it needs to be in the main event. It has to be the main event. I mean, nothing against the Death Riders and Hangman, but that in particular needs to have that main event spot. So we shall see on that. But I do want to give a shout out to everybody in the chat for hanging with me. Shout out to Boza, Terry M, Discussing Master Rank. Hold on, let me see. Just trying to see who the chat. Eddie Foster, I did see you pop in. Maria, Templar Knight. Yes, I did say Maria, but I do want to give a shout out to everybody that's been in the chat with me. And as I mentioned, you can find me chirping sporadically on WWT Live in any way I can. Also, make sure, Wednesdays, it's with me, but make sure to check out some of the watch-alongs that we have this week. Honey did say she can't do SmackDown, but it's a possibility. Said maybe taking over. God help us all. So make sure to check out last night's episode of Kayfabe. It was a really fun episode where we had majority of the crew on there. Also, feel free to follow me on @CourtneyNJ11 for content and everything else happening. Make sure to follow ISPW Wrestling because next Tuesday they will be in Wildwood, New Jersey. They have many matches happening, but also a few legends coming out like Jake the Snake, Tito Santana, along with many others. So she shall see. God help us if that happens. New honey. Yeah, I know. God help us all if that happens. But he ain't crashing my show. Even if I wasn't here, he ain't touching my show. So we shall see on that. But thank you guys for joining with me on this wonderful edition of Timeless Elite Wednesday. This is your PR princess, your Timeless Elite, signing out. And thank you guys for following Women's Wrestling Talk, the #1 women's wrestling network on the planet. Have a great evening, and I will see you on Friday.
Thanks for joining WWT. Don't forget to like us on all social media platforms at WWTalkpod. Like and subscribe on all video and audio platforms, like yesterday, my G. And check out our website at www talkpod.com. Thanks for watching Women's Wrestling Talk, the #1 women's wrestling network on the planet.